All right. Okay, check, check. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so last week we did the unit on conversations in a restaurant. The book gives the examples. Do you have some pizza? Together with we don't have any pizza. And from those, the book claimed that some is for positive and any is for negative. Now, Robert, you emailed me with a question. Could you share that with the class?
Affirmative. During my analysis of human-robot interface protocols, I encountered the instruction, press any key to continue. This is a positive imperative. According to the textbook rule of using the word some for positive actions, the correct form should be press some key to continue. The inconsistency required clarification.
Yeah, right, Robert. If we followed the book's rule, that is exactly what we would expect. But if a computer said press some key, well, that sounds like there's this one special mystery key hiding somewhere on the keyboard, and the user has to guess which one. That's not the meaning we want. The correct phrase is press any key to continue. And it's correct because the real rule isn't about positive or negative sentences.
Teacher, my human sometimes says don't press any key when I walk on the keyboard when she's working. Would that be wrong? You say the real rule is the opposite of the rule from the book. So since not pressing a key is a negative action, should she say don't press some key?
Doug, I'm not sure you understand. The real rule is not the opposite of the textbook. It's just that the textbook doesn't matter. Using any with positive, that's okay. Using any with negative, that's okay. So both press any key to continue and don't press any key when I'm working. Both of those statements are correct.
Yeah, okay, so this is wild. The first time we heard humans say, pick a card, any card, we thought it was a grammar mistake. Picking a card doesn't use the word not, so we thought it should be pick a card, some card. But you're saying this isn't a grammar mistake at all?
Yeah, that's a great example. Another case that it's another way that the textbook rule really doesn't matter. It's fine to say pick a card, any card. Also saying pick some card, that is not a grammar mistake, but it has a different meaning. You could also say don't pick any card. That's fine, no grammar mistake, but it has yet another meaning.
Okay, wait, hold up. I'm still confused. So, are you saying some can be positive and negative, and any can also be positive and negative? All four ways to say it are correct?
Yeah, Poppy, that is exactly right. Maybe I should do a picture. Hang on, let me change to a new screen. Okay, and we have some, any, positive, and negative. Now, when we do some with positive, an example sentence can be, I can eat some pizza. Say that you are at a party, there's the host of the party ordered a bunch of pizzas, but you don't want to ruin your appetite. You don't want to eat too much, but you still want to be social. I'm like, okay, I will eat some pizza. That is completely fine. That has a meaning to it. There's no grammar mistake there. If you do any with positive, uh, example sentence, I can eat any pizza. You can imagine maybe a very young child that is trying to boast or brag about their pizza eating ability. And I'm like, I can eat any pizza. No matter what pizza you give to the child will eat it. There's a meaning to that. Completely fine. It's understandable. No grammar mistake. So any with positive, that's okay. Um, some with negative. I can't eat some pizza. You can imagine you're back at the party. One of the pizzas is pineapple pizza. You're allergic to pineapple. So I can't eat some pizza. The other pizza, I'll eat that, but I can't eat some pizza. There's a meaning to that. It's completely understandable. No grammar mistake. That one's okay. And the last one, any with negative. I can't eat any pizza. This would be, um, I don't know. I can't eat any pizza. Maybe pizza is against your religion and you are forbidden from eating pizza. So there's a meaning to that one also. Completely fine. It is correct English. There's no grammar mistake. That one's okay. So yes, all four are able to be used. All four have meanings. None of them have a grammar mistake. Did that help you, Poppy?
Oh, okay, thanks, teacher. That helps. But, like, if positive and negative isn't the rule, then what is the rule? Do these words even have a rule? Or is this going to be like that whole auxiliary modal thing we learned from before?
It does have a meaning, and it's all about groups. Let me show. I'll clear this slide. Okay, so we have some and any. Now, they're all about groups. So for some, I'm going to make a group for them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for any, I'm also going to make a group. Okay, when we use some, there is the group, but inside that group is smaller groups. There is a group for yes and a group for no. So yes, no. There. Okay. So you can see here, there is the entire group of things that we're talking about. Inside that, there is a smaller group of 3 items that are yes, and a smaller group that are 3 items of no. Uh, any, well, for the entire group, it's either one or the other. It's either 100% yes or 100% no. But, and this is the important thing, you're only picking one item. Maybe I can do an animation on this. Here. Yeah. Round and round it goes. It stops who knows where. That one. That one is yes. We could do this again. It is 100% of the group. So just this one. Yes. This one. Yes. No matter which one we pick, it's always going to be yes. It's always going to be 100% of the group, but we're only picking one item. So in this way, the word any is like the definite and indefinite articles that we learned about. It means one, but it can be from the whole group.
Inquiry. I am experiencing a logical inconsistency. The two sentences of can eat some and can't eat some appear to share the same structural pattern. Both reference a subgroup inside a larger group. Shouldn't that make them effectively identical? Or am I misunderstanding how humans interpret these forms?
Um, you're right that they're logically the same, but the difference is that they focus on reason or they focus on cause and effect. As an example, think of students taking a quiz. A group of students finish early and they start to talk to each other. I say, please be quiet. Some students are not finished. Now, logically, this is the same as me saying some students are finished. There's a group of students that are finished. There's a group of students that are not finished. But the reason I'm asking for quiet is not because of the students that are finished. They're finished with a quiz. They don't care if there's noise in the room or not. The reason I ask for quiet is the students that are not finished. They need the room to be quiet. Back to the pizza example. If I say I can eat some pizza, that calls attention to the pizza that I will eat. I can't eat some pizza calls attention to the pizza I will not eat. So using positive or negative is calling attention to some second action that is involved.
Okay, so this actually helps a lot because we were really confused by how the textbook explains singular and plural. They made it sound like using singular and plural is an exception to the rule, and we never understood why. But with your groups and subgroups thing, it finally makes sense. Like, some points to a smaller group inside the big group, and that smaller group has more than one thing in it, so the logic feels plural. But any is different. With any, we're not talking about a subgroup at all. We're just picking one unit from the whole group. So the logic feels singular. Are we understanding that part right?
Okay, first of all, yes, singular and plural is not an exception to the rule. If you get rid of that rule about positive and negative, then using singular and plural is just the rule. It's not an exception to the rule. So for that much, at least, you're right. But be careful because a subgroup could be of size 1. In that case, it's fine to use singular. Take this class, for example. I can say some students wear headphones. The subgroup of students wearing headphones is 2. That is plural. So we use the plural noun of students and the plural verb wear. I can say some student wears a shirt. This subgroup, there's one student wearing a shirt. So the subgroup is singular. We use the singular noun student and the singular verb wears. Does that help? Some could be singular or plural, but any is always singular.
Well, then, our next question is about known and unknown. The book says this is another exception to the rule, but is it actually an exception? How does this fit in with the groups and subgroups explanation?
Yeah, this is another thing the book gets wrong. Hold up, let me get a new screen. Good. Let's use the example from the book. Here. Okay. Some student forgot their bag. It is the end of a class. All of the students leave the classroom. One student has put their bag under the table and not taken the bag with them. So when I say some student forgot their bag, okay, yes, it is true that I don't know the name of the student, but the reason I'm using singular form is not because I don't know, it's because there is one student. This has absolutely nothing to do with the rule of known and unknown, and it's amazingly simple to show why. Let's make it 2 bags. Here I have some students forgot their bags. Now, according to the book, if we don't know, we should be using singular. So the book claims we should use some student forgot their bags. Well, if I said it this way, well, that makes it sound like there's one student that is a very hardworking student and they have so much homework, the student needs 2 bags. If I say some student forgot their bags, student is singular, bags is plural. It has absolutely nothing to do with known or unknown. Let's get rid of the whole rule about known and unknown. It's not a rule. It's not an exception to the rule. It's about groups. Now, if it was 100% of the students, we would use any. And if it was 0% of the students, we would use not any. But because it's mixed with a group of yes and a group of no, we use some. It just so happens in the top example, the group we're talking about is a group of size 1, so we use singular. The bottom example is a group of 2 students, so for 2 students we use plural. If it's known or unknown is not relevant at all.
So, if positive and negative isn't the real rule anymore, can you explain that restaurant example from the book using the groups subgroups thing? Could you show how ordering in a restaurant works with the correct rule?
Yeah, sure. Let's go back to that slide. I'll backtrack to here. Um, so the way the book lays it out, some is for positive and any is for negative. Some is positive, any negative. Let's talk about just any for right now. When we use any, it is 100% or 0%, and we're choosing one out of the group. So all of these have the same property of them that we're talking about each item in the group. Now, if we say we don't have any pizza, well, uh, out of all the possible groups for pizza, every pizza, everywhere, all of time and space, they have 0%. If we used any for positive, think about what that means. That means any pizza, anywhere, of any kind, that restaurant has it. Do you have sausage pizza? Yes, we have any pizza. Do you have pineapple pizza? Yes, we have any pizza. Do you have elephant pizza? Yes, we have any pizza. Do you have durian fruit pizza? Yes, we have any pizza. A pizza restaurant that truly does have any pizza, that would be in a building that's the size of an entire country. The reason nobody says we have any pizza is not because of a grammar rule. It's because a pizza restaurant that had any pizza would break the rules of science. It would break economics. Now, the other way around for some means a split group, a subgroup of yes and a subgroup of no. If a customer asks, do you not have some pizza? What is that really asking? They are asking, is the group of pizzas that you don't have, does that rule actually exist? Does this pizza restaurant have some kind of pizza that they don't have? You know, I just want to make sure that this isn't one of those weird restaurants that's the size of an entire country. I want to make sure that there is a category of pizza that the restaurant doesn't have. Um, do you not have some pizza? That's just a very unusual question for someone to ask. Um, it doesn't break any grammar rule, but it breaks the rule. It breaks the rules of economics, like I said before. But this also breaks like a social rule. You just wouldn't ask a question like that. So yeah, any can be used with positive and negative. Some can be used with positive and negative. But the reason any and negative are more common is that's just a more common situation. Some and positive is a more common situation. The other two, any and positive, and then some with negative, those do exist, but they are rare.
Oh, I think I get it now. So the other example in the book that uses I don't have any money and I have some money. It would be okay to say I have any money, but that sounds like it is a coin collector that has traveled the world collecting every kind of money from all of history. It doesn't break a grammar rule, but it does break a rule of how much one person can do in one lifetime.
Yeah, that's an example. It's just a very unusual situation. I would ask the coin collector, "Do you have Zimbabwe dollars?" "Yes, I have any money." "Do you have Bitcoin?" "Yes, I have any money." "Do you have flues?" "Yes, I have any money." "Do you have gold bullion?" "Yes, I have any money." It would just be very, very unusual for somebody to have all money everywhere from all time of space in any reality. Um, this is also the reason why we can say press any key to continue. Um, the computer keyboard, that only has about 100 keys. And we can make a computer program that checks 100 keys. That's not difficult. It doesn't break a grammar rule and it doesn't break a rule of reality. So that's why we can use press any key to continue.
Okay, but now we're wondering something else. If the whole positive and negative rule doesn't actually explain how some and any work, then why does the textbook still teach it? We mean, if it's wrong, why is it even in the book?
Ugh. Um, this is just a problem with information theory. It shows up in one book, and then the next book that's written just copies the information from the first book without checking it. And then after that, you publish a new book, you see that there's two books that have the rule, so you just copy that without checking. Then other books copy that book, and then that book is copied by other books, and on and on and on. Um, when we do the class on information technology, we'll cover this in depth when we learn about Brandolini's law.
That's not exactly what we were asking. We mean, where did it come from originally? How did it start showing up in textbooks? Was there a first use case?
Um, well, if that's the case, I can't give a fixed answer, but my opinion is that it came from early Renaissance writers, especially John Dryden. They said it first in 1672. It really took off in popularity with Robert Loth in 1750, 1760, around in there. Um, at this time, all academic study was taking place in universities, and all universities did their study in Latin. Now, especially John Dryden, he would convert everything into Latin and then back into English. And the thinking at the time was Latin is the best language. It's superior to all other languages. So any other language that we do, we should copy Latin. Latin had rules for positive and negative. The writers at the time couldn't find a matching rule in English. So they just made it up. It had to match Latin, so they just completely made up the rule out of whole cloth, just so that it could match the language that they thought was superior. Um, Now, I'm not completely sure of that, but that's my personal opinion. Um, we're running over on time. We'll have to wrap this up. Um, Before we go, any other questions?
What is the lesson plan for next week? Will we continue learning the use of the word some and the word any?
Yes, we'll keep on topic of some and any, but we'll be expanding it out to cover the whole category of determiners. Especially there's two other words that I want to cover, every and no. Now, together, these four words make up a set of compound words. As an example, we put it together with body. We get somebody, anybody, everybody, nobody. We can put them together with thing, something, anything, everything, no thing. Or if you want to do the American pronunciation, it's nothing. Um, that's it for now. Make sure you keep up to date for your quiz practices. Go to the website and just take the quiz again and again and again until you get 100% on it. We are recording today's lesson. It will be uploaded sometime this weekend. I'm not sure. Um, it's better just to say subscribe to the channel. Then whenever I get around to uploading the lesson, you'll get notified for it. If you have any questions between now and then, just email me. Okay, that's it for today. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Ending
All right,
transmission.
Bye.
see ya.
Bye. Stay amazing.